Hey Mustangs, in this video we're going to be taking a look at cellular respiration. So we're going to do a brief introduction to cellular respiration to give you the background information that you're going to need in order to fully understand cellular respiration. So to do this, I'm going to ask that you get a blank sheet of computer paper, and we're going to set it up just like we did for our introduction to photosynthesis. So you're going to take that computer paper, you're going to fold it in half. On the outside portion, we're going to draw the mitochondria. We're going to put our equations for cellular respiration down here, and then on the inside we'll open it up and we'll take some background information notes here, and then we will draw our picture of the steps of cellular respiration down here. So let's go ahead and jump right in to our background information for cellular respiration. So first thing, on the outside flap we're going to draw our mitochondria. So to do this, we're going to draw a bean-shaped mitochondria. That's often how it is depicted. So we have our bean-shaped mitochondria here. The outer portion that we just drew, that is going to be our outer membrane. Now remember, the mitochondria has a double membrane. So the inner membrane, it's not just going to be like we did with our chloroplast where we drew with the second inner membrane here. We're actually going to draw it with folds. So it has folds like this. So that will be our inner membrane. Now these folds help increase surface area. So there should be something going off in your head right now, realizing that, wow, increased surface area. Whenever you have an increase in surface area, you've increased the membrane and more things can happen with that membrane. So in this case, we're going to see that increasing the surface area of our inner membrane here is going to provide more space for the electron transport chain to occur in cellular respiration. So here, these folds are called Cristae, or Cristae or Cristae. I've heard them pronounced several different ways, but these folds are going to be called Cristae, and that increases our surface area for our mitochondria. The inner portion of the mitochondria is going to be called the matrix. So that's this inner space here. The space in between the two membranes is the intermembrane space. Within the matrix here, we're going to find DNA, and it's going to be circular DNA. As you may remember, this is part of the endosymbiont theory, the fact or the idea that mitochondria were once prokaryotes that were ingested and formed a symbiotic relationship with the ancestor eukaryote. And that's why they have circular DNA, like prokaryotes have circular DNA. And also you'll find ribosomes in the matrix too. So a whole bunch of ribosomes here as well. So this is our basics for the mitochondria and its structure, how it's built. And remember, the structure, how something is built, is going to be deeply connected to its function. Now, down below your mitochondria here, we're going to write our equations. So cellular respiration is a chemical reaction just like we saw with photosynthesis. So with cellular respiration, we're going to take glucose plus oxygen. We'll write our arrow. Remember that arrow indicates that these two will be torn apart and rearranged. So glucose and oxygen will be torn apart and rearranged into carbon dioxide, water, and ATP energy. Now, glucose and oxygen are torn apart and rearranged into these. In that process, energy is released from glucose and put into ATP. And under ideal conditions, you're looking at approximately 38 ATP. So here's our word equation. Now we need our chemical equation. Our chemical equation, glucose, remember CHO, 6, 12, 6, plus 6O2 arrow gets us 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus ATP. And again, approximately 38 under ideal conditions. Now, looking at our formulas here, they should look extremely familiar to you. If you take a close look, you'll see that cellular respiration is simply the reverse of photosynthesis. So in photosynthesis, we had carbon dioxide plus water, arrow, light, gets you glucose plus oxygen. So cellular respiration, if you know your photosynthesis, you just flip it. You take light off of the arrow and you add ATP instead. So again, cellular respiration is simply the reverse of photosynthesis. Take glucose plus oxygen, arrow, gets you carbon dioxide, water, and ATP.